Hello, everyone, and welcome to Aligned Almost, the podcast where we talk about navigating life, healing, and becoming more aligned one step at a time, even when we don't have it all figured out. This is episode 11. My name is Bee.
And I'm Denise.
And today we're talking about the throat chakra.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with the chakras, Bee will get into it, but really what we're trying to convey here is the importance of speaking your truth. And what that really means is just owning who you are, not watering yourself down, speaking your mind, and being yourself. It seems easy in theory, but we're conditioned to act in a way that's socially acceptable. And I'm putting air quotes because at the end of the day, that's kind of like how we all walk around life. And it's really unlearning that and, yeah, owning your shit, owning who you are.
Own that shit.
That's right. And it's practice. We haven't mastered it, but the podcast is definitely helping us.
Yeah, it's huge. It's like a huge throat chakra activation. It's insane.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, I'll get into some basics. If you're not familiar with chakras, we have many chakras all throughout our body and our auric field, and then we have 7 primary chakra centers along our spine, and it starts at the base of our spine and goes all the way up to the crown of our head. And they're these like spinning energy centers, and they're focal points for spiritual, physical, and emotional well-being. And so today we're specifically talking about the throat chakra, which is our 5th chakra, and it's located in the throat. It's represented by like a light blue or sky blue color, and governs communication, expression, and truth. So it's like super in line with what Denise was just talking about, right? And the areas, like the physical areas of the body that this chakra center can affect are the throat, the jaw, the ears, and the neck. And then like some physical signs of imbalance would be thyroid issues, sore throat, mouth or tongue sores, gum disease or other dental concerns, TMJ issues, ear infections, and tight shoulders. I've experienced a few of those, but more of like where my imbalance has showed up is more in like the mental signs of imbalance, which are depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem, which I think a lot of us, unfortunately, have experienced.
Yeah, and it really is, as a society, I feel like a lot of the things that we experience collectively is just because we're diluting ourselves and we're not living authentically. And of course, I'm not saying this is the case for everyone. That's not it, but it's not a blanket statement. But there are definitely, for us, I know we can say that safely because we know ourselves. Like, I know the anxiety, the depression, and all that stemmed from not being who I wanted to be and not owning who I was and not doing what I wanted to do. And as we do that, life is starting to unravel for both of us in ways that we're like, wait, are things really happening? And that's not to say everything's perfect. You know, some days I'm like, oh, life sucks still, but it's not as, it doesn't last as long. And I know it's temporary. Even when I'm in it, I'm like, that's how life is. You learn to it ebbs and flows, and you learn to go with it. And you know that like those down days are not going to last forever. But when you're not that aware and you're not owning your truth, you don't really know that, right? You kind of feel like you're stuck in it and you're never going to get out.
It really, like, when you're in it, it really feels like it's never going to end. Like, I remember, like, looking back, and I've been doing a lot of this recently where I will, like, almost, like, this is going to sound super woo, but, like, time travel back to past versions of myself and, like, kind of, like, remember where I was, like, physically, but also mentally, and, like, how I was feeling and all these things, right? And it's just like there was this nagging, like, this is never gonna end, and like a big part of that's the depression, right? And it's just like it really feels like there's no, like, you're in like a dark tunnel and there's like no light. But like, and I think that's a big reason why we're doing this podcast too, is because we did find light at the end of that tunnel, and like we want to help other people understand that there is a light, even if you can't see it just yet.
Yeah, and we have to experience things that are uncomfortable and sometimes not desirable in order to appreciate when good things do come along. That polarity really helps us appreciate what we have, right? And so
absolutely,
even like now, as I know I talk a lot about relationships and whatnot because that's super impactful for me right now. But as far as like just having experienced heartbreak, now I can appreciate and take things like, a little bit more slowly and more cautiously and practice detachment, which I'd never been able to do. I was like, you know, very much like, okay, first date, this person better be, and I still struggle with it, as I've shared in our last episode, where I still struggle with like the ego thing where I want somebody to pursue me. But now there's really like this detachment. And I really think it's all comes down to speaking our truth and owning who we are and understanding that that's not going to be for everybody. There's no way, there's not one person that is for everyone. There's not one person that's liked by everybody. That person doesn't exist, right?
Right. Right. Like that's just not realistic. And like, not that we usually like talk about what's realistic and what's not, right? But like, we're all so unique as individuals. Like, we're not all gonna like the same things, even in like friendships or connections or whatever it is. Like, you and I, right? Like, we're not all gonna like all the same things. Like, you love working out. I would like to work out more. But like, I don't feel it the way you do, right? And so like, I love video games.
I don't.
You don't play video games. So
I love that you love video games.
Yeah, and I love that you love working out.
Yeah.
But like, that's okay. And then also just like, sometimes you just don't jive with people, and like, that's totally fine. Like, I think I would take that so personally when people didn't like me in the past, and like, I would be like, oh, like, I need to change myself to make it so that more people like me, or that I'm more likable or whatever. And so it's like, I would constantly mold myself into these versions that were based on what I thought people wanted me to be and act like and whatever. And so like, then I would feel like liked, and there's probably back to like abandonment wounds here, but I look back and I'm like, I can put my life into chapters of these different versions of myself that I showed up as, and like, none of them were really me. And like, I was always kind of like behind a mask, like hiding my personality and my truth and like my thoughts and feelings and all of this stuff. And like, it's not easy to like let go of the mask. It's really scary, especially if you've had it on your whole life, but it's so freeing to just like fully be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna be me, and whoever likes me, and whoever doesn't like me, and that's okay.
Yep. You need to be okay with knowing that there's going to be those low vibe people that talk shit about you. And that's the reality. Even us putting ourselves out there and sharing the content we share, I'm sure some people will say things that some people that we know and wouldn't even suspect, but that's just part of the process. I always say, like, I just want to weed those people out, right, and use discernment and really like ask my guides to and this is like woo, but them to protect me from those people, because I don't want to give my energy to them. And of course, we're still going to encounter them, but it's really just protecting our energy and maybe not letting them in too deep, right? Not letting them in our orbit. They can watch it, whatever, sure. But whatever bad energy they send, we can just alchemize it. I talk about alchemy. Any energy someone sends to you, whether good or bad, you can alchemize. It doesn't matter. So that person can be hating on you, hate all you want. Listen to our podcast and talk shit. It doesn't matter. We're still getting the listens. Like, like we don't care. We're still going to do it. You can sit there and talk shit and have a party talking shit about us, and that's fine. But it's also all of those things, shit talking and stuff, that imagine it's some sort of unhealed wound, and I don't know how it ties into the throat chakra, but it's not like a healthy way of expression. When you're talking shit about somebody, it's usually a reflection of yourself and something that you haven't worked through. And so I have to be cautious of that too, because I catch myself sometimes wanting to say bad things about people, and I'm like, no, at the end of the day, we're all so different, and I don't want to put that energy out there to anybody. I just don't think that's not how I want to operate in the world. Even people that I've had falling out with, whatever the plural is, falling outs.
Falling outs.
Falling
out, yo.
Yeah, I don't want to move about in the world like that. I want to understand that we're all different and we all are not going to vibe. And if we don't vibe, we just don't need to be in each other's orbit. And if we do have to, we'll just be cordial.
Right. And gossiping in general, I feel like, is just a very low vibe, low frequency kind of thing. And it really doesn't serve anybody. I mean, the way I was raised in a pretty judgmental family, I would say, where like everybody around us, like there was just constant like judgment, like inside the family, outside the family, and it just like, and then I got to a point where I was like, why are we talking shit about each other all the time?
Yeah.
Like, who is this serving? Like, how is this making things better? How does this work? And like, it doesn't benefit any, like, because if you're talking shit, and I've been a shit talker, I will own that.
Me too. I've done it too. Like I've
Yeah.
definitely done it, and it's part of growth. We don't do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, and it just like it, like you were saying, it's something that like is triggered in us. And usually, like when like, at least I can speak for myself. Like in the past, when I've like been like, oh, like I don't like how this person does this thing or whatever. It's like they're probably doing something I wish I could do, and like I'm not either like brave enough or strong enough or whatever it is at that point. And I'm like, oh, like who do they think they are? Like super cool person or whatever, right? And it's just, it doesn't serve anybody. Like it really doesn't. And like being able to release, and like also like I've gotten to a point where I'm like, you do you, I'm gonna do me. Like if we mesh, cool. If we don't,
Cool.
all right.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
And you know what's funny is shit talking doesn't make you feel better. Like it doesn't,
No.
when you're talking shit about somebody, it's not like you're like, oh, that felt good. Now I got that off my chest. It doesn't. It just
No.
feeds this negative energy and it stays inside you and it stays stuck and it's gross energy, honestly.
It's kind of like a
it's fun-
demon.
Yeah, it is like a demon. It is a demon. I like that. That's a good term. But it's funny when you bring up the family stuff because I was talking to my mom and in our family, everything was always, you had to be like, everything's fine. Yeah, everything's great. Like, oh, it's all like nothing is wrong. And that's also not healthy too, because you're not speaking your truth again. And there's an importance of that. So now I'm like, if you're not doing well, who should you share that with? Your family. Your family is like
Right.
who you should feel comfortable. Like, hey, I'm not feeling so great. Like, how are you doing? Not good. Like, just own it. Like, things are not always perfect and it's okay. Like, you don't have to be perfect. And there was always like, oh, everything's perfect. Everything's fine. It's all good. And she's unlearning that too. And it's funny because I kind of taught her that, like, she'll speak on my behalf, like, oh yeah, Denise is great. I'm like, you don't have to tell, I don't gotta lie. Like, it's fine if you tell them I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
like, it's okay. We don't always have to be perfect. That's just, we don't always have to be happy. And I love that about our friendships and the people that I've like have developed relationships with now, because I can tell you like, hey, I'm having an off day, and you're not going to be like, oh, there she goes again, which sometimes I think it's like I have to fight it because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to annoy her if I tell her I'm not feeling good today.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, please tell me. I've told you this before, but like, please tell me when you're not okay. Because like, and like, that's like real friendship and like real, not even just friendship, like family, like real connection with people. Like actually giving a shit about people is like, yeah, tell me when you're not okay because I want to, like, what can I do to help? Like,
Yeah.
we support each other. We want to help each other. Like, we want each other to be our best selves.
Yeah, and it's just really respecting the person and wanting them to be okay is knowing like when they're not okay. I feel like I can always be honest with you and tell you how I'm feeling, and I feel like you feel the same way. And then there's a level of respect. So when you are having an off day, and I'm normally not good at giving people space because I used to think, oh my God, space means that they're mad at me. Space means that like whatever. But even like yesterday when you were like in a space where you weren't, I mean, I'm not going to give away your personal details, but like we didn't speak a lot and that was okay. It was like, I knew you were going through it and I was like, okay, I'll give her space and I'll circle back and check in on her if I don't hear, but I'll wait. I still told you some of the like dumb stuff I needed to get off my chest. Like, guess what? Look at this. But it was just more because I wanted to share it, not because I needed a response right away, And so
Right.
that's part of speaking your truth is also helping you attract what's aligned for you, the relationships that are aligned for you. And really, it's a muscle that takes lots of practice because I find myself still diluting myself depending on who I'm talking to. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I catch myself now. But
Yeah.
it is hard. It's difficult because it's something that we've done our whole life.
Yeah. And it is really hard to like let it go. Yeah. So yesterday I was just really anxious and I just was like overdone. You can share my business. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I just like, it was like one of those days where I just was like, I don't even want to be on my phone right now.
Yeah.
But like, I was glad that you still kept me posted because then I had a bunch of stuff to respond to this morning. But,
Yeah.
But it is hard. Like, I mean, I find myself deluding myself too. And like, I think actually what was like huge for me was the day we met. Sounds so like the day we met.
So romantic.
That was like the so romantic.
Neither of us are gay. We just want to put that out. Not that we have any issue with it, but in case you're wondering,
We're straight.
yeah.
But yeah, no, like that was the first time that like I was in a group of people that I didn't know anybody, right?
Yeah.
And I totally was like, I'm a psychic medium. Like that was
Yeah.
the first time I owned that in person with a group of people. I'll post it on the internet, but that's easy because I can just post it and walk away and not look
Right.
at anything, right?
Yeah.
But to like show up, it's like that felt so vulnerable. But it was like you guys received me so well, and like that helped so much. And it's helped me also to like show up in that way in other ways. And like that's not to say everybody's always going to receive that well, but it's just like it's baby steps. And sometimes I still get nervous to like be weird. I was in a work meeting. I have a marketing job, and my boss like knows about my spirituality, and he was trying to say something in a meeting, and he's like to this other guy we work with, and he's like, this is gonna sound kind of weird, and like goes into this whole thing, and the guy's like, oh, that wasn't that weird, and he's like, oh well, you know, B is way weirder than I am. It's just like,
Oh my gosh.
should I whip out my tarot cards, or
Yeah.
like, do we want to lead the marketing strategy with tarot, or
I know,
but
right?
but it's like, you know, just like owning it, and I'm like, you know what, yeah, I am weird, like proud of it. I'd rather be weird than normal any day.
I know, and a lot of people deem spirituality as weird. That's just one of the things, or like the witchy stuff. I've found myself being more open about it now too, and I usually say it in like a simplistic terms. Like yesterday when I went on a like first date with somebody, and I asked him if he was religious because he said something along those lines, and I always want to just gauge what people's view is, and he's like, no, not at all. He's like, I'm not. I was like, okay, good. Not because,
Okay,
and again,
good.
and I'm not against, as we've shared, I'm not against like anyone's beliefs, but it's hard for me to get on board with a particular religion. It's just because I hold spirituality as like just that's my belief, and it's not that I need somebody to believe that, but a lot of the times people that are religious are like that's hard no for them, right? Like the spirituality and tarot and astrology and all that is just not for them, and that's okay. But that person's not going to be for me, and
Right.
that's why I asked a question. Remember that last date I went on where I didn't ask any questions?
Yeah, you asked questions. Good job.
Did I ask questions?
You're actually interested in this one.
It turns out the conversation can flow when there's compatibility on some level, whether it's long term or not. It's different.
Yeah.
It's easier. I was practicing the throat chakra stuff. Wait, I did not.
Yeah, you practice that throat chakra stuff.
That is not what I meant. I meant like talking and sharing who I was with somebody.
Right, yes.
Okay, anyway.
Back on track here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, you know, speaking your truth with your words.
Yeah. And I think that at the end of the day, what we're trying to convey here is the importance of practicing using that muscle of speaking your truth, saying what you feel, and not being afraid of being judged. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be judged regardless. Like there's just no way to avoid being judged. And of course, if you put yourself out there more, you're going to you're more susceptible to judgment. So even us in what we're doing now, the podcast and in sharing content, and I've started sharing like TikTok content. A lot of it actually ends up being relationship based and dating, and people from my work follow me on that. It's like, okay, well, you're seeing this side of me. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want people at work to see me that way. And now I'm like, who cares? Like, honestly, at the end of the day, that's who I am, and that's okay. It's not like I have to be on my work front all the time. Not that my work front is
Right.
very different than my regular, but
But
you
still,
know,
like,
I just-
and everybody's like a human. Like, when we're at work, I feel like a lot of times we fall into these kind of like robot modes where we're like, okay, everything is work, and like you have your blinders on, right?
Yeah.
But like, everybody's a human at the end of the day, and like, your TikTok, it can be about personal stuff, and I think that's great. Like, because I think too, a lot of the times when we're in really structured work environments, there's this like lack of humanness and being like, oh, like you're human too, like cool, like you're experiencing life also, and
yeah.
it's challenging, and I think it isolates us in a way. But like when we're just more like out and proud about who we are and ourselves, and like we're all unique people, and like we literally just like let it show, like that. I think that's such a beautiful thing, that like when people are themselves, because like nobody else can like replicate who you are at your core, and like that's like it's a beautiful thing. Like it's so special and like rare, and like let
Yeah.
us like give us the opportunity to see you in like all of your authenticity.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll see that the relationships that you form are so much stronger and there's less resentment. I remember being very resentful and like always thinking kind of negatively of people, you know, I don't know what it was. And well, actually, I do know what it was. It was a reflection of how I felt inside because I wasn't owning who I was. So now the relationships and the people that I surround myself with are so good. That's not to say that they'll all, you know, of course, we're still going to encounter people that maybe we don't vibe with. But right now, my friendships feel solid. They feel so good. And like, obviously, the romantic relationship's the worst work in progress. But even the people that I've interacted with, I've been able to use a little bit more judgment, right? And like maybe not be so invested in people that aren't for me, and I'm able to move on more quickly, and it's good. Everything like is just flowing better.
It's really healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it feels nice to not have to feel like I have to pretend or put on a certain face for certain people, and just
That's exhausting when we do
Mhm.
that. And like,
Really.
I mean, looking back when I would be like constantly have a mask on, right? I was physically and mentally exhausted all the fucking time. Like, could never get enough sleep, had trouble sleeping. Like, it was just a mess, right? And it's so draining to like, because we're like, you're acting essentially.
You
like,
are.
you're
Yeah.
playing a role, and it's like it's just there's more resistance in just your existence. Oh, did that rhyme?
More
I'm a
resistance.
poet.
in your existence. I know, look at you. It's the best.
Spitting bars.
I know, literally.
But like that resistance, like it causes so much exhaustion because you're constantly just not just letting yourself be. And when you do find those friendships, like we have, like it's so fun. Like
It
you
is
can just
super-
I'm not afraid. I will say off the wall shit all the time. And I
Yeah.
don't have that fear of like, oh my gosh, Denise is not going to want to be my friend anymore because I said something fucking weird. Like,
Yeah,
you probably say something weird back and then we laugh about it for 5 minutes. It's great.
definitely would say something weird back. It really feels so. It's funny because I also was like, before I wasn't very social. I would say that like 5 years ago, maybe when I was married, even every social setting was exhausting to me. And I think it's because I was always putting on a face in those social settings. So now I can safely say I'm a pretty social person. I would consider myself like probably, I don't know, I'm definitely not introverted. I'm like in the middle somewhere. I don't like to use that label, but now because I'm not putting on a face and I just am who I am, it's not as exhausting, and I actually love getting to know people. I love like just like feeling the vibe and like seeing what they're about, and to a fault I tend to try to like see the better in everybody, but I'm also working on that piece too of understanding that not everyone operates with the best intentions, because I used to say that and that's not true, because if they did, we wouldn't have all this crazy shit happening, like the Epstein shit and whatnot. Like that's just it.
Crazy.
So those people are always going to exist, but I just, as I continue to raise my vibration, and as you do as well, I'm just finding that those people are not close to my orbit, and I'm keeping them at a distance, and I'm trusting when something feels off, even if I don't have evidence. So if something
Yeah.
doesn't feel right, I'm like, I don't really want to get to know you, and there's no reason, but just like move along with your life. I move along with mine. I don't know why, and I'll never know why, and that's okay.
That's one of the hardest like pieces of like living aligned is like feeling like having the intuitive ping that something is off and not having the concrete like details of it. And I don't know where along the way we were taught that like to like not listen to our intuition, like, or like you have to have concrete details that something is like bad or wrong or not aligned for it to be that way, because like there's literally no, like, you don't have to be friends. You don't have to have a relationship with anybody you don't feel like it. Like, we have free will here on Earth. Like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Like, please be a good person about it. Like, obviously, people aren't, like you said. But, like, you don't, like me, I've got no contact with my whole family because I'm like, you guys bring me down and, like, I want to shoot for the moon, and you're keeping me super tethered here on Earth. So, like, I can't have this. Like, I don't want to like see a text on my phone or get off a phone call and like feel like shit about myself. Like, why would I do this to myself? And it sucks when it's like your family or like somebody you really care about, right? But there's no rule saying you have to stay connected with people who make you feel like shit.
No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You don't. That's just, you are the dictator of your own life. You create your own life. You can make boundaries, and if they don't make sense to anybody, they don't need to. They just need to make sense to you. You're, at the end of the day, we're all here for our own soul's evolution. Yes, as part of the collective, but I think we forget that it's like you're here to evolve. You're here to learn. Our Earth School,
Earth School.
This is Earth School, and that's like part of that is owning who you are. Let's stop pretending. All of us are walking around. And I shared a reel about this. It was not one that I created, but it was talking about how oversharing, there's no such thing as oversharing, because it's all like everyone's so performative these days that they're like, oh, I don't want to say too much. Oh, I don't want to like share. Who cares? Say whatever. It's not, we're just all living in this like performance, and I'm done with it. I'm not performing for anybody. If you think I'm weird, fine. I feel like I'm less crazy now than I was when I was pretending.
Same. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
Like, I was pretending because I was afraid I was going to look crazy.
And then you were more crazy. Yeah.
Like, way more chill than I used to be.
I know. No, I agree. I mean, same here. Sometimes I feel like, and that's another thing where I'm like, am I too chill? Like, do I come off as like not caring, but
do I need to crash out a little bit more?
Do I need to crash out? I know, because I've been told, like, do you ever get stressed? I'm like, yeah, I live in a constant state of stress, but like, working on it. Not really. I really am working on that. And we're all just a work in progress. We're never going to get to the point where we feel like, oh, I've accomplished everything and I feel great and that's it. That's not life. Doesn't matter what age you are. There's always something to improve. There's always something to work on. We're ever changing. That's the beauty of it. But through that, you speak your truth. Say what you need to say. But don't be hurting people's feelings. It's not like mean truth. Because if you're doing mean truth, that's something else.
Yeah.
Like, mean truth, you know what I mean? Like, something like if you're, I don't know, saying something nasty to somebody that's unnecessary.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an asshole. If you have something mean to say, it's probably because of the way you feel about yourself. So maybe you should sit there and be like, why do I feel this way? You know?
Self-reflect. If you feel like being an asshole, sit there and be like, okay, why do I feel like being an asshole? What is this triggering in me right now? Because whenever I've been an asshole, I've been triggered in some way.
Yeah. So if you have something mean to say, sit there and be like, why do I want to say that? Why am I being a dick?
Yeah. Why am I being a dick?
Right? I think we've all had those moments where we're like, why? Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think, again, we're just preaching to speak your truth, say what you need to say, stop performing, don't be afraid to lose people, because losing people helps you make space. Losing people that are misaligned helps you make space for things that are. And it's hard because we don't want to lose things, and we want to grasp onto things that are not for us, but that's how we stay in positions that no longer serve us, and we don't need to be there.
Yeah.
So we need to do. And anything that falls away, it'll be replaced with something that works. And that's where we live in a society where everything's like doom and gloom too, right? And I think about like corporate, where everyone's like, oh my God, what if I get laid off? It's like, okay, that will suck, but it's not the end of the world. Like there are other jobs, you'll find something else aligned. You don't need to sit there and pretend that it's like the world is crumbling and that's it.
Right. Like you'll figure it out. Like,
yeah,
take it as it comes. And like, I used to be a big worrier, like huge, like it consumed me. Like I was constantly worried about everything falling apart or going wrong or losing people or losing opportunities and this and that. And it's like, back to detachment, right? Like the more just detached you can be, like just you're on the adventure of life and just like, okay, like I get laid off, this person doesn't want to be my friend anymore, whatever it is, like, all right, like if not this or something better, right? Like coming back to that again, like there's a new chapter waiting for you, like, and it's, not that it's easy to lose things like we've talked about, but it's just part of life. And the less of like a death grip we have on the things in our life, like I think also having less of that death grip, like things last longer because they're more aligned and they're more like in flow with your life. And so if you hold on to things too tightly, like one, nothing new can enter your life. And two, like you only have it for the time you have it. So like
Yeah.
don't make the most of it, you know?
Also, anything that you feel like you need to grasp onto or you'll lose is probably not for you.
Ooh.
It's like
That's
the
that's
thing.
a harsh truth, but
Yeah.
it's a truth.
If you feel like you have to grip on it tightly or it's going to go, then it's probably not there. I know you just laughed at that. It's not a perverted joke. We're like 12-year-old boys here.
You saw my face.
Yeah, I did. I totally saw your face. But it's true though, right? Like I do think
Yeah.
that there's like if you feel like you have to grasp onto something, it's not that it's difficult. We're all
You shouldn't have to grasp it.
no.
For it
And
to
I'm
stay.
still learning that too.
Like some of the things, like obviously we've talked about like speaking your truth, being your authentic self, like those are really great ways to like activate and balance your throat chakra, but there's a few other ways. And so I love crystals, so I have to list a few that are good for this. So like turquoise, aquamarine, blue lace agate, lapis lazuli. Those are like good crystals. You can have them around you. You can wear them, like work with them however you work with them, meditate with them. And then another really good way, if you are somebody who can visualize things, you can visualize a vibrant, bright, glowing blue light, that like light blue sky blue color, kind of in like your throat area. And then that'll help balance. And then some other things that I really like to do, like singing, like that's a huge like throat chakra activation, or just like humming like about your day. It's also very regulating for your nervous system, so highly recommend. And then just actually using your voice, like speaking, like talking to people, like use your voice. And like since I've started using my voice more, I've like life has just really fallen into place and in really beautiful ways. And so as like we share these things with you guys because we've seen like really positive changes in our lives, and we want you guys to have the same.
Exactly. Also, can we touch on the fact that we also hiked and we screamed on top of the
That
screaming?
was so activating. Screaming. Yeah.
And
Actually, like, highly recommend going into nature and screaming.
it feels so good. Scream at the top of your lungs. We
Yeah.
were a little afraid that we were going to scare people by like them thinking that something was wrong with us, but there was nobody out there. It was just us, right?
Yeah. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
We have to do that again.
We do. We need to.
Yeah.
We definitely have to. I feel like you can do that even weekly. It would be great if we could just scream in nature. I know that we can't right
so
now
amazing.
because we're far from each other, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Telepathically.
We'll scream telepathically, but it did feel so good. And it really is, when we say this, like I feel like we're living such great lives right now, and it's just the beginning. And it's because we started to step into our truth. And when we met each other, even back, it's only been what, five months?
4 or 5 months. Yeah.
I wasn't living my best life just yet. I was starting to make steps. I mean, I was hosting those women's circles, and that's ultimately how I met you. But it's just slowly putting one foot in front of the other. And I know that we're going to get to where we want to go, but we're also enjoying the path there, and that's the important part, right? So I'm
Enjoying
really
the journey.
enjoying the journey, and I'm really excited for people to like be happy. It feels so good. That doesn't mean that every day is good. You'll see me still crying sometimes and shit, but I'm open about it. I share. Somebody told me the other day, he's like, yeah, I'm just a little bit more private than you are. And he was really, really sweet. And I'm like, yeah, I share. That's part of what we're doing. Some would call it oversharing, but I don't believe in oversharing. We're just not performing. We're being who we are, and we're putting ourselves out there.
Yeah. And
We're
like,
going to keep doing it. So if you want
we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And like, if us, like, we're doing this because, I mean, it's healing for us, but also like it helps other people. We've both gotten messages from people who have been like, thank you for like sharing this, which I didn't start sharing content and doing stuff like this for that. Like, I just like, I wanted to be able to help people, but like actually hearing that it helps people, it like makes me want to just keep doing it. 'Cause I'm like, that's part of my soul mission here.
Yeah, it's part of both of ours, and it's how we found each other.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Doing the work.
I'm so glad we contracted that.
I know, right? Like, we
Yay.
did so good with our soul contracts.
We did. We were kind of in the same boat too, right? Where we were just like in
Yeah.
the transition period, not really knowing what was going on, and
Yeah, feeling the pull, but like not really knowing where to go with
Mhm.
it. And then it only took a
Mhm.
couple weeks, and we looked at each other. We're like, "So, do we start a podcast now, or?"
Yeah, and we're like, yeah, I've been wanting to start one, and you, it was great. I didn't realize it was a common thing, but also our podcast, we didn't start it for like, oh, let's start this so we can like blow up. Of course, we want it to reach the people that it needs to reach, but I think that our motive is different than some. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know. I would just imagine. Who knows? But I feel like people want to start podcasts for various reasons, and ours was to help the collective.
yeah, we just want to help, and if we get super famous, cool. But that's not the goal. Like, if we can help two people, like,
Right.
it's just we just want to help and share our experiences and our journeys and see what happens. Let people know they're not alone, because that's the toughest part, is like feeling like you're alone, feeling like you're the only one experiencing these things, and like we will lay it all out there for you. Like,
Yeah.
you are not the only one. Like,
This is true. This is true. Yeah, we'll be there. We can handhold you
yeah,
virtually.
we'll handhold you.
But yeah, on that note too, we just want to encourage everyone to please rate the podcast, share it with somebody who you feel would benefit from listening to it, and then you can follow us on our Instagram at Aligned Almost. And we're also, yeah, we're just putting ourselves on various platforms and spreading the word.
Yeah, you can find us pretty much everywhere at
Yeah.
Aligned Almost.
I'll just look up Aligned Almost, you'll see B and I right there.
Yeah, you'll find us. We're there.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Until next time, just remember that none of us have it all figured out. We're just aligned almost.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.